significant events for the world economic community as the 7th Astana Economic Forum and the Second World Anti-Crisis Conference began in early June 2013. This massive amount of work was carried out by the Eurasian Economic Club of Scientists, association with support of the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan and the United Nations General Assembly. Every year, the authority of the forum grows. This could be noticed through the growing number of participants and membership composition. Among the honorable delegates are the heads of the UN agencies, international and financial institutions, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, 6 Deputy Prime Ministers, the Vice President of Afghanistan, 215 ministers, the chairman and deputies of the central banks from 147 countries, as well as 9 Nobel Prize laureates, all of whom praised the quality of organization and selection of subjects discussed.
Our forum has turned from a regional discussion platform to a significant event of international economic life. Suggestions and ideas for the forum were given within the framework of Kazakhstan's participation in the G20 summit in September 2013. The G Global virtual platform is successfully working, gathering over 4.
Over the 3 days, the forum hosted 77 different events, including 6 events as part of the Second World Anti-Crisis Conference, with the participation of 90 moderators and 400 speakers. This year, all discussions were centered on the major topic of the forum, risk management in the era of challenges in the format of G Global, a subject that became the most discussed one for the UN member states in recent years. The UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon called on governments to take urgent actions to ensure sustainable growth, addressing the forum delegates.
The global economy is still recovering from the 2008 financial crisis. United Nations economic projections are broadly positive, but there are still many serious problems. I am especially concerned about youth unemployment. This generation of young people is the largest in history. They deserve opportunities to realize their dreams and contribute to our common progress. That is why I am calling on governments to adopt sustainable growth policies that focus on creating jobs.
The forum was arranged by 100 co-organizers, with 50% of them being outside of Kazakhstan, including 19 international organizations. This large-scale interaction is largely made possible by the initiative of President Nursultan Nazarbayev, and throughout the year, the G Global Communicative Platform successfully hosted the virtual versions of the forum and the conference on the formation of the concept of the World Anti-Crisis Plan and discussion of then future 7 AEF events. The virtual project involved over 1 million users from 170 countries. Moreover, over 15,000 reports and research papers, about 50,000 peer reviews and comments were placed, as well as 400 video conferences that brought together leading experts and scientists. As a result, key discussions held on the G Global Info Communication Platform found their extension in the discussion held during the forum this year. The G Global project proved not only to be relevant, but also efficient in the solution of global challenges.
In the 21st century, accessible to everyone. But now this world, impacted by the worst global financial and economic crisis, may relapse into recession and downturn. Termination of global dialogue is a dangerous trend.
The forum program was split into 7 major units, such as social and cultural aspects of economic growth, the main prospects of energy ecological complex. A number of productive events focused on major priorities of the Expo 2017 and discussions of potential benefits of regional economic integration, such as the Eurasian Economic Union, were carried out. A separate unit was dedicated solely to globalization and integration processes, which included 6 events pointed at Eurasian Economic Union. The Investment Innovation Infrastructure Unit discussed the attraction of investments and innovations to Astana, and the Development of Trade and Competitiveness Unit was designed to discuss trade development. Special panel session dedicated to the 50th anniversary of the UN Conference on Trade and Development took place as well. Financial and economic stability and the concept of the World Anti-Crisis Plan were discussed separately. One of the core issues was Kazakhstan 2050 on the path to join top 30 most developed countries, including the launch of the second 5-year period of reinforced industrial and innovative development of Kazakhstan.
I think it is very important that you have a dialogue which is inclusive of all, with the academician, with the civil society, with the leaders, with the government leader, the business leaders. I think Astana Economic Forum has done that very well. And I know that especially on economic and development issues, this has been a very important forum to have this type of a dialogue. I think it is very good that it promotes collaboration, it promotes better understanding, it promotes also the analysis, joint analysis on some of the major global economic issues. So this is very important. I have found that it is important.
This year, 9 Nobel Prize laureates arrived in the capital of Kazakhstan. Besides giving speeches at the forum, events and conferences, they've participated in a bilateral meeting with Kazakh president and traditionally gave lectures at leading universities of Astana, Almaty and Uсть-Kamenogorsk through online broadcasting for the audience of 25,000 listeners, including teaching staff, postgraduate and undergraduate students.
Astana, what the forum has done is bringing that possible, making that possible, and it's becoming more and more attractive for leaders to come. And not many Asian countries do that. It's always Western countries inviting people of the world as if they have the exclusive authority and right to bring people together. So when Astana invites, that's a very different one. And when world responds to it, it's very special, because you are coming at the invitation of which is not a normal way that you are familiar. You have many, many conferences in London or Paris or Washington or New York, but not like this in Astana. So that's very important, to feel a feel of a different country, different struggle, how they go through this, and different way people are thinking in that kind of context.
During the forum, 3 bilateral meetings of Kazakh President Nursultan Nazarbayev, 32 meetings of Kazakh Prime Minister Karim Masimov, as well as over 300 business, bilateral and multilateral meetings with the heads of the state bodies, commercial and national companies of the Republic of Kazakhstan took place. The forum also hosted several international exhibitions as Kazakhstan Investment Expo 2014, Astana Invest, Astex, Transit Kazakhstan, International Exhibition, Global Risk Expo. During the forum, more than 90 agreements and memoranda in the amount of $7.7 billion, including a framework agreement on cooperation between the government of Kazakhstan, the Islamic Development Bank and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, was signed. Generally, 93 media partners, including 53 Kazakhstani and 40 foreign ones, supported the forum, providing news coverage from the forum to more than 2 billion people around the globe. Around 800 representatives of international and local media participated and took over 300 exclusive interviews with top-ranking participants. The forum hosted TV debates of the largest media representatives such as BBC, China Economic Daily, China Economic Net, Finanz und Wirtschaft, CBS News, Euronews and Kazakhstan TV channel. This year, for the first time as part of the forum, the first international summit of journalism, G-Global 21st Century World, was held. Open dialogue platform discussed key issues of modern journalism, focusing on the main topic, new media technologies and innovative tools for coverage of economic problems. Support and approval of the concept of the World Anti-Crisis Plan became the main expert and substantial outcome of the 7th Astana Economic Forum and the 2nd World Anti-Crisis Conference. Conference participants addressed to the UN member states, the UN Secretariat, the UN International and Regional Divisions, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, international organizations and financial institutions, NGOs, scientific research institutes and analytical centers, and also to global expert community with the request to take active part in discussion and formation of the World Anti-Crisis Plan. Conference participants also appealed to the world community with a call for active use of the G-Global as a virtual platform for the development and fulfilling of the World Anti-Crisis Plan, and it was suggested to use the annual Astana Economic Forum as a constantly operating bridge, which since 2009 has been developing recommendations for the G20 member states, international organizations and governments. The number of foreign participants steadily grows. Compared with last year, the membership of the forum increased by almost 1.5 times. It is an evidence of strengthening the international significance of events and relevance of issues discussed, with a reforming of world financial economic system being the main one.
I think those consequences are really twofold. The first is the actual institutions of global governance themselves will have to change. So the composition and method of operation of the major international financial institutions, and even including the UN Security Council in time, has got to change in order to reflect that reality.
It should be pointed out that 7th Astana Economic Forum became the final event in the process of forming the Eurasian Economic Union and the kind of bridge to the historical events of signing the agreement on the Eurasian Economic Union held on May 29th in Astana. Another important topic of the forum that was discussed at some sessions and events, including the first scientific and economic summit, covered the global transport and logistics project Silk Road. Thus, the annual Astana Economic Forum became an effective tool of creating sufficient conditions for social and economic progress of the Republic of Kazakhstan, developing cooperation between academic, state and business communities, as well as producing recommendations to ensure long-term stable development of the world economy. Forum is seen by many local companies and experts as a platform to promote projects, ideas and initiatives. Open dialogue format created new opportunities for free debates with participation of foreign media. Important contribution of the Forum to development of Kazakhstan and Astana is its wide investment and innovative potential that increases every year. Institutional effect that creates new organizations. It also has a positive impact on image of the country, tourist inflow, growth in the quality of education and scientific research, quality of the human capital and level of the public and corporate governance.